me to discuss this is
Joy Ugben. It is a program that discusses various national and international matters.
A Nigerian should be able to live and work in a hospitable and safe environment in the north or south or east or west of Nigeria.
We cannot have a country where politicians do things and get away with them and expect that the citizens will do otherwise.
Daily Communion for the love of God and neighbor.
This is Daily Communion on Catholic Television of Nigeria. We're reaching you from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Joy Ugben.
Good morning. My name is Arthur Ejiofor. Welcome to the program.
As usual, we have our lineup of activities for you. You know, we care about your health and your fitness, and that's why we have the health tips segment and also the fitness segment. We also have our very inspiring discussion segment. But then we'll have to begin the show right away on an inspirational note with daily affirmation. Do stay with us and don't go away.
Dear child of God, I've come again today to let you know that God is the owner of this day. And it's a new day. It's a gift to you that God has given unto you. But I would love to share a secret with you. Find in the scripture. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. It said, unload all your cares of the Lord because he careth much. It means God cares about you. God does not neglect you and he will never neglect you. But he will continue to tell you that you should put your trust and your hope in him. And what does it say to you, my dear brother, my dear sister, as you watch me this morning? Make sure you focus on the Lord. Don't focus on the load. Do you know something? God is bigger than the load. The Lord has even dominion over that load. God is in charge. Like I always tell people, relax. God is in charge. Go with this into the day and you'll be a winner, you'll be a champion. God bless you.
Welcome to Health Tips on the Daily Communion. Expedient. I keep using that language to take care of your health. If you don't take care of your health, guess what? Sickness will invade your body like plagues and cut your life short. It is expedient that you take care of your health. Today, we are talking sweet dangers. Eating or consuming sweet things, excessively sweet things, added sugar can lead to various health hazards. The first danger you will be finding hazards will be mood swings. You do not know sugar, this sugary foods, added sugar causes us to have a lot of swings in our moods, okay? Sometimes you see some people, they become easily irritated. The next minute, they are anxious. It causes anxiety. It causes irritations and all that. And you are wondering, what's wrong with that one? You just might not know. It might just be the excessive sugar consumption that is causing those mood swing. And the second thing you will notice is you have insulin resistance, and it will lead you to type 2 diabetes if you keep consuming sweet things, added sugars long enough. This will lead to insulin resistance, increasing the risk of you developing type 2 diabetes. The number 3 thing is that it will lead to tooth decay. Sugary things can lead to gum disease or tooth decay, heart disease. Consuming high amounts of sugar can increase the risk of heart disease, including high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and heart attack. Number 5 is that it will lead to premature aging. There is this end products in our body that is called ages. It comes as a result of consuming sugary things. Number 6 will be the issue with the skin. Consuming high amounts of sugar can lead to skin issues, which include acne, premature aging, as we have already named. The best day to take care of your health is today, and the best time is now, that you may stay well and for longevity's sake. Remember also to add daily fitness to everything you do. Now let's join our fitness segment and get going with the exercise of the day. I am Nelly Frank.
As usual, as you all know, we are taking you on a cardiovascular, which I'll be taking you on an advanced program.
When I, Lawal Abdullah, will be taking you on the modified program.
We are going on high knee tucks, like this.
Welcome back to Daily Communion on Catholic Television of Nigeria. Of course, reaching you from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Remember, you can now watch us on GoTV channel 115 and on free-to-air Nicomsat. Please do well to follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and even YouTube at Catholic Television of Nigeria. If you're just joining us on the show, it's our discussion segment. And today, in commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child, will be in our spotlight art, the demands of girl child activists. That's the brave voices that cut across platforms, schools, and communities. These brave voices seek justice and aspire change. We have joining us in our studio this morning to share their thoughts on this topic. Miss Mimi Okana, who is a gender-based advocate. Welcome to Daily Communion, Mimi.
Thank you so much.
And then we also have Princess Miracle Benadine Atta, who is the founder of Triumphant Girl Foundation. Welcome to Daily Communion.
Thank you for having me.
I see that the both of you are passionate about girl child.
Yes.
So what inspired this?
Well, for me, what inspired my advocacy journey is what I grew up seeing and what I didn't see growing up. And what I saw growing up isn't, it was a call for action, an urgent one. I grew up seeing young girls around who, go through life, being praised, being victims of domestic and gender violence. And what I didn't grow up seeing is girls who are confident enough to report cases of such, and society, that is safe enough to protect, women and girls, especially when it comes to women's bodies, assault, and every other, part of a woman's life and a girl's life. And so I thought that this is a call for action, not just for me, but I think for everyone else.
Mimi, can you tell us any practical experience that has pushed you into advocacy?
For me, I would say that the very one, I have a lot of stories, because the very one that has pushed me into inspiring other girls and advocating for the girl child is my first experience, our very first outreach, where we went to a rural community and we realized that young girls in that community used leaves, not just rags, but
In Nigeria?
Yes, in Nigeria, use leaves to hold themselves for a period of time for their menstruation. And it didn't really strike me, but it also pushed me so much that I shed tears on that day. And a particular lady that caught my attention was one that was in her shell. And we had a counseling session with her, and I realized that this particular young girl came from a very, very poor background where she could not afford sanitary pads and had to run to one of course, a grown man in the community that has been pushing her, that has been wooing her, and in the end was taken advantage of. And this has been one of the major stories that has kept me going to not just advocate for the girl child, but to also tell others the story that I have heard, the stories that I have seen, to keep inspiring.
What is the focus of your own agenda?
Okay, my focus is on confidence for girls as well as public speaking skills for girls. Yes, because I believe that for a girl to, explore every aspect of her life and body, she has to first believe that she can. And this really comes from within. But then there is also the need for society to motivate and really teach and inspire these girls. So yes, my focus is on confidence for young girls.
So begin, why do you think that is very important, confidence? What are the fruits that comes from confidence of a girl child?
Okay, thank you so much. That's such a beautiful question. So I'll just read a quote that I'm not sure who wrote it, but the woman said that once a girl or a woman discovers her voice, she has a weapon for life. And we have seen cases, statistics have shown that very less of sexual assault cases are reported. And, half of the time, sexual abuse cases are done by members of the family. And even worse, they go unreported. And that is not even the worst thing. When you find out and you ask and you want to advocate for the girl, she gets scared, she calls in. And I believe as a girl, because I'm not just advocating out of passion, but out of experience and truth that I've seen. And once a girl knows that
she has a power within her that does not come without. She becomes unstoppable. And this is not streamlined to just sexual abuse alone. This goes far beyond. If a girl believes that she can, she's going to, stop being mediocre. The timidity will stop, which means that we'll have more women in professional fields. We'll have more girls in STEM. We'll have more girls, pushing forward, not being vice president, but really president, not being, vice president of universities and advocating for the smaller roles, but going bigger. And I think that confidence is the first thing that a girl attains before becoming any other thing in life.
Wow. Mimi, can you tell us about Triumphant Girl Foundation?
Okay, so I'm going to actually, in summary, give a breakdown of what we do at the foundation. So we operate in 3 pivotal roles. The first role is the Paddy Girl Child Initiative, where we go around schools to distribute sanitary products to young girls and also sensitize them on menstrual hygiene and personal hygiene. Also, the second initiative of the foundation is the Triumphant Girl Empowerment Scheme, where we empower young girls with skills, basic skills like bead making, soap making, hair making. This would also not just help them build their confidence, like Mimi said, but also help them to become independent and grow for themselves and for the society. And the very third one, which of course is the major bedrock of the foundation, the very first one that inspired me is the Triumphant Girl Recovery Guide against sexual abuse victims and rape. And that's a major story because we find ourselves in the world today that young girls do not just get taken advantage of. I read somewhere where they said an abused person is never the same. And yes, I know that an abused person is never the same because a lot of stories happen. So 3 things happen to you when you're abused. You're broken, or you're out there, or you take your own life. Those are the very 3 things that happen. And these 3 tiers of the foundation is what we've been working by over the years now. And yes,
How long?
for 5 years now.
Okay, you mentioned something about a recovery guide against sexual abuse. Who are the experts that come into this to help in the recovery process for a girl child?
Okay, so we have major professionals, coaches, mental health coaches. We have counselors as part of the community where we lead young girls. So when we go for outreaches like the Paddy Girl Child Outreach or maybe Women Day Outreach, we get to set aside some of the girls because there are a lot of stories that these girls want to tell. So if you don't go out there, you don't see them. So we don't just go to the outreach and hold it there. We send letters to the school authorities to send some girls to us that they know that are going through personal stories. For example, girls that are too quiet. Some of them have stories to tell, but of course they don't have who to tell them to. So we'll make these professionals available to them so that they can as well come in to support the girl child.
While you were speaking,
So-
I picked something. It was about the Plant the Girl Child outreach. So, in other words, we're talking about safe reproductive health
Yes.
for the girl child. How do you do this? How do you get the funds for doing this? It takes a lot of funding.
Yeah, it actually takes a lot of funding. And I must say that passion has actually kept us going because it's not easy when you meet up people and say, now we have individuals that actually want to do this, but they don't have the time. So we write to major organizations. We've partnered with Axis of Hope Initiative, partnered with Women Development Agency here in Abuja. We've also partnered with some major individuals and other TV stations in Abuja here, SRTV, to actually help us put out,
Catholic television.
and of
too.
course, Catholic television, right? To help us put the stories out there, and as well as major grants that we write to get funding for this.
You mentioned women earlier on. Your projects, you cover women.
Yes, so like I said, the last tier of the foundation look at the women. That's where we come in with the against rape and sexual abuse. I mean, we find out that it's not just young girls that are abused, right? So we do not just think that, oh, you're a young girl, you're getting abused. I mean, as much as we have young women that are being abused, but think that they can keep it to themselves. So this agenda, this particular initiative, help us to inspire older women to also know that they do not have to keep quiet and hold the pain inside of them, but they can actually speak out and heal. Because when you don't actually speak out, you put it inside, and then that's how it keeps putting you down.
Do you have something else? In fact, she said something about confidence.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Confidence and public speaking that you teach girls. Don't you think equally that the boy child needs to be confident? If all the girls are confident and they can speak and are eloquent, if you intimidate the boy child in the future, how are we going to get the boy child to see the girl child to be approachable? So if we just concentrate on the girl child, aren't you thinking that will be a way of making the boy child not to measure up?
Well, I think that is just going to make it it's just going to give girls competitive advantage, because over the years, society really has been on the side of the boys, at least when it comes to confidence. We tell the boys that you're a man, you should do this, you should do that. It gives them some sort of edge, and so I think it's just going to give girls competitive advantage. It's not going to make them, and if a boy feels intimidated by a girl, then I think he too needs to work on his confidence, because yes, because I think that one's confidence should not diminish yours. So if it does make you feel timid, then I think you need working, because girls, and that's what we're working on the girls with. Because if a girl sees a boy, or a girl's in a classroom of boys, and then she wants to speak, and they be like, "Oh, keep quiet, a man is speaking," because they do that to girls. They do, they say, "Keep quiet, sit down. When the men are talking, don't talk." And when they say that to a girl, there's a thing it does to your brain. It makes you just, take in that sense of inferiority. It makes you want to just sit in the corner and let the men talk. And when you oftentimes tell your mind that and tell your brain that, it makes you want to perform less of what you can do, because there's a thing with having an expectation or putting an expectation on yourself. It makes you want to deliver. It makes you want to go out there. If I tell people that I want to teach girls confidence, then I should exemplify what I'm trying to teach the girls, because I've put in some sort of work on myself. But I've told myself oftentimes that just sit down and let the boys talk, let the men talk. You don't have to say anything. You're going to be a better wife material when you keep quiet. I will not be here sitting down. I will just be one quiet, very meek girl somewhere in the corner. So I don't think that confidence for girls diminishes the tendency for boys to be confident. I think it just gives us a competitive edge, which I think we need in the world right now.
You were talking about a 6 months experience you just rounded off.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
Yes. I started a project in March. Yeah, I think in March, and I just concluded it very recently. And that project focuses on going to rural areas to teach girls public speaking skills as well as confidence skills as well. And that project really, it was designed to be very practical. So it's not something I have to take a book and a pen and make it very, tush and put together. No, it was very practical. We went to rural areas, somewhere, I've forgotten the name of that place, somewhere around Kuji. It was very rural. See, I can't remember the name too. It's very rural, because I feel like when we penetrate these places, women and girls feel less alone. And there's power when my mom would say that if you want to go to somewhere very dark, no matter how dark it is, if you go with someone, it feels like light. And that is the same thing. That's the same strength I took there when I was doing the project. No, I did not. I couldn't have done it alone. And that is the beautiful part, I think, that my project focuses on. It doesn't just focuses on confidence and public speaking, but it's power of community. Because I think that is something that we are losing, not just as women, not just as girls, but as a community. And I think that is one strength we have as a people, that we can fight together and then we can win together. And so to my project, it was for girls in rural areas, teaching them the power of community, and we had to design activities that create a sense of community, games that brings girls together, that create a sense of teamwork. And so we designed, those games. For every month we went to, different schools in different areas, encourage teamwork, encourage sisterhood, and encourage, confidence and public speaking skills for the past 6 months. And yes, we are done. And
But were you able to get?
yes, we did. For in 6 months, we went to about 5 to 6 schools, and then we had about 320 girls that we really spoke to, and this is excluding their parents, their mothers. These numbers are just the girls we spoke to, 320.
Okay, meaning that you also spoke with mothers.
Yes, because I feel like girls were just extensions of our mothers. Yes, so if I have to talk to you, I want to see the kind of covering that you have over you. And most times we want to take excuse from these parents. We want to ensure that they want us to speak to their girls this way, so that we don't invade people's privacy and all that.
Now, so what's the role of parents in shaping the confidence, public speech making of a girl child?
Yes, the role of a parent, a guardian, it can't be overemphasized because first of all, I'm a very core believer of the belief and ethics we have as Africans, right? And for an African girl, I know that our parents, our guardian, they are really just the roof to which we sit under. And if we grow up in household that encourages our sense of confidence, that encourages our sense of curiosity, then it's very less likely that we don't succeed. But I think that one of the loopholes that we're seeing in girls taking up spaces is because we are just coming from a lineage that really puts women in the corner. We have seen a system of patriarchy. We have seen a system of women always being somewhere in the house, just somewhere. And so I think that if we want to encourage women in the forefront of anything, then we should go to the roots. And our roots is really who we are, where we come from, and how we were brought up. And I think that is our parents, that is our ancestry. And I think that if parents, both, and I'm saying parents, both men and women, if we can encourage, or if parents can, because I'm not a parent yet, but if we can be encouraged by them, I think we have a long way to go, because we can do this work outside, but social studies taught us that the first stem of any nation is the family. So if we can get it right in the family, I think the nation has no problem.
If we can get it right in the family, I think the nation will have no problem. We'll have to go on a quick break right now, and we'll be back. These passionate women are still here with us in the studio, and they'll get to throw more light on our topic, which is the demand of the girl child activists. Stay with us and don't go away. We'll be right back.
Democracy has been defined in different contexts by various scholars. According to Wikipedia, it is a form of government in which the people have the authority to deliberate and decide legislation, or to choose governing officials to do so. However, the most simplified and widely acceptable definition of democracy is that of Abraham Lincoln, who defined it as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That is to say that democracy is a government that is people-centered, generally associated with the ancient Greek system in the golden era of monarchical rule, when the world was ruled by lords, kings, and emperors. The Greek concept of representation gave birth to the modern democracy, which is now the most widely acceptable system of government in the contemporary world. The universal concept of democracy has been further polarized by local and national values, which has since brought forth types like direct democracy, electronic democracy, representative democracy, participatory democracy, and deliberative democracy. Nigeria, which prides herself as the largest democracy in Africa, has had its fair share of government instability. Since her independence from Britain in 1960, Nigeria has witnessed successive military interruptions of her democracy. From her first republic in 1963, which was shortly overthrown by a bloody military coup in 1966, Nigeria is now in her third republic with a 24-year-old progressive democracy, and has every reason to celebrate as the country prepares to swear in new democratic leaders
come May 29, 2027. It is providential, however, that Nigeria's Democracy Day is on the heel of Nigeria Children's Day celebration, May 27th, as we explore the narratives of children as the custodians of our democracy. That is to say, the manner in which we practice our democracy and the values we uphold today is what the children will inherit for tomorrow. Some powerful people who influenced how democracy in Nigeria was practiced 20 years ago has lost considerable amount of influence 20 years later.
Rather than calling the shot in 2027, those powerful leaders will sit and observe while others call the shots.
Using the same template they set. What goes around comes around, and also what we allow or disallow today will haunt us or vindicate us tomorrow.
Welcome back to Daily Communion on Catholic Television of Nigeria. We've been talking the demands of girl child activists, and we have two guests with us, Mimi Okana and Princess Miracle Bernardine Atta. Okay, so Princess, can you share your thoughts on this year's theme of the International Day of the Girl Child? The theme, the girl I am, the change I lead.
Oh wow. So when I first saw the team, something struck inside of me, and it gave me a notion that we don't just know ourselves, we believe in ourselves as young girls. So when you hear the girl I am, the change I lead, automatically it tells you that this is the identity that you carry, and you shouldn't just be walking around as just a girl. There should be something that you're leading, there should be something that you're advocating for. So, and the tagline for the team for this year is girls in the front line of crisis. I mean, girls don't just go through, it's not just about crisis about what is going on around the world. It's crisis about what is happening within you as a young girl, family, environment, culture, tradition, and all of that. So it encompasses all areas. So being in the front line of crisis doesn't mean that you're walking away or you're shying away from it. It means that we're standing in the front of it. We're standing and carrying those trophies and saying that, oh, I'm a girl and I want to inspire the whole world. Oh, I'm a girl and I want to be somebody tomorrow. So this year's theme do not just speak about girls and how to make change and impact the world. It also makes you as an individual to be the change itself. What are people seeing? What are you telling the world as an individual or as a girl child? So yeah.
Now, Mimi, from your own perspective, how does this theme, how does it resonate with you?
I think that the theme, first of all, creates a sense of urgency, which I think is very important. Secondly, I think it's a very personalized theme. It's saying the girl I am, the change I lead. So it's not the theme is not encouraged, not making somebody come and speak for you. You are saying you are the girl, you know, it's the girl you are and the change you lead. So I think that it kind of bring the change we want to see, you know, to our doorstep. We start the change from within us before, you know, going outside. We're seeing the world in recent time, you know, go through a lot of crisis. We're seeing the war around the world,
Right.
and all that, and we're seeing women, you know, in medical field, you know, being at the forefront and ensuring safety, you know, for victims, you know, across the world and all that. So I think the theme is a very timely one. It gives individual, you know, realization to what is supposed to be done at, you know, at such a time as this. And then again, like I said, it's very personalized, and it gives each and every one of us a you know, sense of work, a sense of duty. So there is no individual out there waiting for an NGO to come and speak for you,
Right.
or waiting for Mimi to come and speak for you, or, you know, or waiting for a TV station to speak for you. So it creates a sense of, you know, urgency, is a personalized sense of duty, and I think that is very timely as well.
So what are these urgent demands of the girl activists?
Yes, like it's so. Thank you, because I really want to talk about this. You know, I've seen people say there's a lot of NGOs these days, and you know, it's just the girl child. People have been complaining. Some people
Right.
complain. I'd be like, why? What's going on? And I think that is very funny because even though there are thousands and thousands of NGOs around the world, sexual abuse cases is still on the rise.
Right.
I've seen a study that says 3 in 5 girls have either been raped or have been attempted, And so with the rise of NGOs, there's, a rise of this this what's it called, abuse going on, right? So
Rise of NGO, rise of abuse.
you see, it's very ridiculous because one would think that with the rise of plenty NGOs, sexual abuse cases would be reducing, right? But no, that's not the case, and I don't think that this and NGOs are really trying their best. NGOs are doing very greatly, and people funding are doing very, very greatly as well. But this is not even pushing us to the direction where we have hope that this is reducing. But this is what I think that we're making progress with. I think that even though the numbers are on the rise, there is a sense of awareness. People now know that, oh, this can be reported. And I think that the sense of knowing, it might not look like it's doing so much right now, but if somebody knows that if I knock on that door, somebody will hear me, they will not feel alone. And I think that that is a good way, to move towards, and I think that the society also has a lot of work to do. Yes. So if a girl comes to you and says, "Oh, I've been," the question you should ask her is not, "Are you sure?" Yes, because I don't think any girl in her right senses would want to report cases, especially young girls, especially teenage and I think that this is creating a sense of awareness and creating some sort of fear and giving girls a sense of community, knowing that there are thousands of NGOs around the world, getting grants, going out there to ensure that you are not alone.
So I just want to add quickly to what she said. There's this trend going on in social media that parents are actually using for their children. I mean, the good touch, bad touch. Now you hear them say something like good touch, bad touch. It's now like a rhyme, and schools are actually inculcating it in their curriculum and all of that. So when you hear people say, "Oh, don't be scared. I'll kill you if you tell your mom. I'll kill you if you tell your guardian," and stuff like that. Now it's now coming to realization that we don't just ask these girls questions like, "Do you think that this person is trying to take advantage of you?" Because there are signs. You don't just start. That's one thing I tell people. You don't wake up one morning and they want to rape you or they want to take advantage of you. There are signs. And these are the signs that we need to take note of. Signs from the beginning of how they stare at you, the things they do to you, what they say to you. There are provocative things. As a young lady, a man would not look at me and say, "Look at you now." I take it personally because sometimes it doesn't come from a place of compliment. It comes from a place of harassment. And these words get to me deeply. And that's one of the words that I tell young girls, the girls I speak to, do not feel like because you're not, I mean, for a case of saying that, "Oh, you're so pretty," of course, my mom tells me that every day. My dad tells me that every day. So I tell these girls these things, and don't feel like because somebody's telling you that you're pretty somewhere doesn't mean that that's why the person is the best person to get close to, or that's why the person is the best thing that you should listen to, right? So, and then to also buttress the point of confidence for girls, I think that one of the ways we can look at for young girls to be able to have confidence in speaking out is the self-evaluation and writing, which of course is one of my stories. I started off as a writer, as a teen author, right? And that's has helped me to put down a lot of emotions, and kudos of course to our literature activists out there because they're doing amazingly well. And writing has actually helped a lot of young girls to hone their voices. I mean, there's this adage that says the pen is your sword. So how you actually strike your pen is how you strike your sword. Thank you.
I'd like us to talk about the role of our cultural setting, and look at the role of religious organization, including the churches, in projecting or putting down the girl child. So let's start with culture. What do you think is the benefit of our culture?
Okay, so culture is very progressive, right? And as people move, culture moves. And it's very funny when I've heard people when people say, "Oh, but this is not part of our culture." And I think that if we take adaptation, if we take evolution as part of human experience, then culture should move. So there's some things, of course, that is embedded in our culture that I feel like should go because of because now we know the wrongs, right? So there are some cultures that still practice female genital mutilation. It's their culture, but is it right? No. So for the fact that something is found or is embedded in culture doesn't mean it should stay. The people make culture. Culture do not make people.
Right.
Yes. So if culture exists and it does not benefit human beings, women included, then it should go. Yes. And Africa is a very beautiful place, but there are cultures and activities that exist around us that doesn't really serve girls. Right. And I've said, the issue of female genital mutilation, which is still happening now, as barbaric as it sounds, it's happening this moment, right? There are still cultures somewhere in Somalia, somewhere in Afghanistan, very recently, that still have reduced the marriage age of girls they reduced it. Okay, actually, there is increased this to 18, and men were protesting.
Right.
Yes, right now, like it's happening right now. Men were protesting and saying, "Why would you increase it to 18?" But we can equally say, "Oh, that is their culture and it's okay." But is that okay? No, it's not okay. Right? Now, this is the issue of female genital mutilation. There are other cultures that says they will not say it explicitly, but they are going to say, "You're a woman, you don't need to go to school, you go and marry." Or if you're going to school, they'll be like, anyhow, your child just going to end up in a man's house, right? So a girl who wants to be a doctor, somewhere in the back of her head knows that even if I don't do well, there's still the option of being somebody's wife, right? So even though culture is very beautiful, I think that there's aspects of culture that doesn't really serve women and girls, especially African cultures.
Well, Mimi, would you like to talk about the role of religion
Okay.
on the development of the girl child?
Okay. For me, I don't think religion is actually like a barrier for the development of a girl child. I think that religion actually teaches that every individual should have a voice, should be seen, should be heard, right? And I'll take an example from both the major religion, Christianity and Islamic religion. And I've seen young girls travel, right? And I'm going to make an example of some of my friends that came from the eastern part because I schooled in the north, right? That came from the eastern part to school in the north. And when they came and they saw that, oh, these girls are wearing hijab, they cannot even speak English, they were marveled at the level of literacy these girls have. They are very sound. I mean, when they speak, you think that they're not even from this place, right? And this was a shocker to those people that came from the other side to school because they didn't think that these girls could even speak or read and write. They felt like, oh, what you're wearing has covered your head or your knowledge or something. And that for me is one of the ways to know that, of course, religion does not stop you from being who you want to be. We have of course, excellent ladies, men, women who are doing so well, especially the ladies that we're talking about, who are doing so well in their field of study. Even though religion, of course, teaches you that, I'm a Christian, I'm going to use Christian as an example for ladies who get married. It doesn't tell you to submit to your husband and then kill your own vision at the end. It in fact tells you to submit and also be seen, right? There's this popular pastor Fumi. She says something about you are not supposed to be what is that they say a successful man, if behind every successful man is a woman. She said no, you should say beside every successful man there is a woman. And that's why I want to use that note, that religion automatically does not stop you as a young girl or as a woman to thrive, to be the kind of person that you want to see.
Can we look at policymakers, leaders, governments, what role they have to play in this?
Okay, so I think that the government has I know that the government has a major role to play in this particular team we're talking about. Somewhere last 2 months, we saw a case where a young girl won election in the South. I don't know if you saw the news. And somebody posted on social media and said, this girl will not be allowed to be to lead. She's just there. She's just going to be their puppet. And it struck me because why would an individual think that that's why this person was elected? I feel like in the general world, we shouldn't bring out the government and say, oh, they're not going to inspire young women. I feel like a lot of strategies can be put in place for young girls. I mean, like Mimi said about education for STEM, right? These are policies that you can put in place, of course, and in schools too, and in every other sector around the community, because of course they can start up from the grassroots, like Mimi said, from the rural communities, governments, before it gets to the higher authority, because it cannot start, of course, charity, they say, begins at home. It cannot start from the top. It has to start from the bottom, where we can build to the top, where these girls can be taken from where they are at to the top.
Adding to what she says on policies, right? I think that if the government are not putting policies in place, it's because they don't want to put policies in place.
Right.
And women, we make up a larger population of the country, right? And I don't think that these policies should be put in place outside women.
Right.
We have seen cases in House of Reps where they will say we are going to put these policies for women, but there's no one woman in that house, right? The women in governance are so reduced, and the ones that dare to get in governance are not allowed, or they are threatened out of governance. And really, who do you think will benefit if you are trying to tell your story outside the room? So I don't think that women's policies should be made for women. I think women policies should be made with women in the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
One final word, a sentence from each one of you. I want you to just say a word to every girl, any girl child in the world today before we wrap up. Our time is fast spent. Yes.
Okay. Well, for me, to every girl child outside in the world, anywhere in the world, I just want to say that no matter where you are, rural, no matter who you are, no matter how much, of yourself you've lost, know that every day that you get up is a new day to begin, and it's a new day for you to change your story by yourself.
All right. For me, I would say that be unapologetically you, right? Nobody defines you better than you can be. And tell your own story, own your own story, and be your own story. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies, for finding time to be part of Daily Communion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe you had a swell time with us. This is where we come to the end of today's show, Daily Communion. We've been talking with Mimi Okana, a gender-based advocate, and Princess Miracle Bernardine Atan, who is the founder of Triumphant Girl Foundation. We'll be back bright and early next time. I remain Joy Ubem. Bye for now.
And my name is Arthur Ikefo. See you some other time.